whatever. I'm just gonna ask you about the Iranian. Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus, Ramadan Kareem, and happy everything to everyone. Been traveling and I'm back, and I have no idea what's been going on. So I thought I would get Obaid here to tell me previously on the last 7 days. How are you, Obaid?
I'm good. And yourself, Omar?
Thank you. I was in
Holidays
the
are
middle.
over.
I was in the middle of the Red Sea between four countries, and my phone had no idea which country I'm in. So there is no network. So I avoided Twitter drama.
That's good. I just sit
That's
back and watch
probably
that.
good.
I just sit back and eat popcorn and watch other people have their drama. So I couldn't be
Yeah,
bothered.
I came back with all of the Iranian protest stuff. I had no idea how did it even start. What was
Well, okay. I
made
mean,
the
it started more as a protest, economic protest, right? So they were pissed off about you can't afford gas, you can't afford food, uh, taxes are too high. Why are the elites not paying taxes? Why are we paying taxes? All this stuff. So it started off as an economic protest, and then it just more and more people started coming out, and it just morphed into protest against the Ayatollahs. I mean, people are chanting "Death to
hijab.
Khomeini."
This to
Yeah, they're
Khomeini
protesting against.
directly in
Yeah,
the street.
no. Well, not Khomeini, but Khamenei, the other,
Khamenei,
like the
I
leader.
always get the two
Yeah,
confused. Khomeini is dead, and
yeah,
Khamenei is right
yeah,
after him. Sorry.
yeah. And they're also calling for the death of Rouhani. And I mean, it kind of. I don't want to say this is what happened because it's going to be an over. But they do the White Wednesday protests.
Yeah,
So, and you must have seen that picture of that woman holding up the
of course.
white hijab. Okay, that was on the 27th, which was the last Wednesday before the protest started, and the
So
protest apparently.
probably before that Wednesday it was economic protest, but the Wednesday was coming anyways, so it
No,
start.
no. What I'm saying is that even the economic protest started on the 28th. The economic protest started a bit. So
I thought you were saying it was economics, then it suddenly started shifting to fuck Islamic state.
it was around the 29th to the 30th that it started shifting to more religious freedoms and get rid of they're like death to Islamists, death to reformers, death to extremists. They're like, no, we don't want this anymore.
And I am so glad that this to reformist is already included, not just
well. I mean, the reason was because if you look at the Green Revolution, when the Islamists, when the reformers came in, and they pushed the hardcore. They weren't reformers. They called themselves reformers, and they said they're gonna bring changes, but they haven't brought anything. So that's why they're saying that as well. Death to reformers, and I mean,
let me guess. What was the reaction from the reformers in the West? Are they saying they're not true reformers?
Oh no, they're just saying it's attacks coming from Saudi and the Jews and the U.S. and it's foreign. Foreign agents are responsible for this, but like I said, one thing, if anyone's watching this, like check out what Armin Navabi's been doing.
Yeah.
Check out Atheist.
I tried to watch some of the things Armin have been putting, and protest sounds and looks insane. It reminded me so much of 25th of January 2011 over here. Looks like sometimes I feel like I know how they feel exactly, but without the hijab stuff. But the question is, the Green Revolution started dying down as, okay, guys, we're gonna reformer. Now there is no direct way for things to die down quietly without any demands, right?
No, because there's no the protests and everything. I think they're great. I think they're fantastic. These people are getting but there is no leadership. It's just started on the ground
as usual in the Middle East.
Yeah, it was just very organically that it grew up. Second thing, you have, and I know you don't care about the people in the West. And I don't blame you. But,
that's my reputation. I give up totally.
No, but I mean, like, I shouldn't say that you don't care, but I mean, like, you don't care what the leftists are going to do.
Yeah.
Because The right wing is the right
expect
wing.
the worst, by the way.
Yeah, the right wing is the right wing, and you're going to expect them to try to use you for their own benefits.
Yep.
Whereas the left wing, you would expect them to be on your side, but they're not. And I mean, even just this morning, I read something that Macron in France said, "Oh, we should start speaking with the leaders in Iran and try to placate them." It's like, why? Why are you placating the leaders? We'll work with the leadership in Iran, and it's like, no, they're not going to do anything for the people, and
Of course they're not.
and
The
they're
question is, sorry, one question. I'm expecting leftist activists to fall into that, like, if right wingers are supporting these protesters and Trump are supporting these protesters, and no, maybe the protesters are. I'm expecting this from Twitter idiots, but you're
it's already
saying that
happened. It's already
actual
happened from
politicians, actual left-wing politicians, are giving in to the Iranian government.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, there's silence for the most part. I haven't heard anything from Merkel. Corbyn, I mean, he's the leader of the opposition. He's always been pro-Iranian. May, I haven't heard anything from. Trudeau is all he's put out is, "Oh, we hope everyone respects human rights." Like, go fuck yourself, Trudeau. I mean,
Trudeau's just like the cute, nice guy kid in class, which is, "Come on, guys, can we get cool with each other?" Like, it's so, it's childish, seriously.
Oh yeah, no, but he's an idiot. And then I mean, the only one that came out is Trump is saying, "Okay, we want," and it's into the vacuum left by the left that Trump can come in and say something. It's like, okay, yeah, fine, at least someone's saying something, like when Trump.
And I'm gonna be glad. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh no, only right wingers are speaking about it." Fuck it. I want anyone to speak.
I don't care.
Right wing. Anyone speaking out is a good thing. Who cares if he is a right winger?
For this right now, getting the news out, getting the stories out, I'm glad everyone comes out. But to actually go and help and actually do something, I want people who are like, be it the far right or the far left, they're going to be doing it to use this for their advantage. If there's any help going to be coming from the West, I would like it to be people who are going to help to work with the Iranians to see what, not said, okay, this is what you want, this is what we're going to give you, but like go on the ground and say, what do you want? Because I'd be happy in any of these countries. Like, people are like, "Oh, why do you want to push Western values?" First of all, I don't think they're Western values. I think they're universal values. Everyone has a right to all, freedom of speech and religion and from religion and all that.
They should be universal values for everyone, not just for the West, but they're called Western values because that's what they started and that's where they are, simply.
Well, yeah, that's where they're upheld, is in the West.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is if you want to go, and I'm not talking about nation building or anything like that, but let's say this revolution does, let's say a revolution does come out of this.
No more nation building, please.
Okay, yeah. But if the people take over, right? Let's just say something happens and the people actually do end up taking over. Instead of sending diplomats and Halliburton and whatever over there, send over law professors, send over poli-sci professors, send over people like that to work with the people on the ground, saying, "Okay, these are the values. Here's how you can structure government." Not tell them how to do it, just show them what people are talking about. Because, like someone who's been under the Ayatollahs since '79. So let's say they were 10 or 11 when the Ayatollahs came in. It's 40 years ago. They're 50 or 60. They're 50 or so now. They've known nothing but that. They might not have, so concepts like free speech and freedom of religion and freedom.
No, of course.
Okay. There might just be concepts that they don't 100. And I'm not saying that because I'm not calling these people stupid. I'm just saying they were never taught that information. So I want to say, if you're going to send someone over to help them, send over people who can be there for a generation or two. So send over, poli-sci grad students, like just graduated legal students, like constitutional lawyers, stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't underestimate Iranians in general, but you're 3 steps ahead of me. My point, my concern right now is putting pressure on the government and the Revolutionary Guard so that they won't start killing people. That's step one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's step one. Yeah, okay, but
the West to we have an eye on you. Don't kill innocent people. Step one, basically. Is that step done?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not in the least.
See, that's a step one. Forget about you went to when the people take over. I'm not even expecting the people
okay. But like I said,
because
I was
pessimistic. I'm pessimistic not because I want anything harm to Iranians, but I know the Revolutionary Guard will never fall down without taking 100,000 with them.
Okay,
Like the Revolutionary Guard is
but
not just a police department. It's the fucking Revolutionary Guard.
Yeah, but the thing with the Revolutionary Guard, some of them have been. Armin's put out some videos where they, husband and wife, they were both Revolutionary Guards. They burnt their ID papers. There was videos of them putting down their weapons and joining the protesters. Some of them.
So much similar to the Free Syrian Army splitting from the Arab Syrian Army back in the Syrian Revolution.
Okay, but like I said, okay, when I was talking about the like it was a very optimistic, and I was like I said, if something like that would happen, the West shouldn't be looking at this as okay, we'll go implement a government. Right now, like I agree with you, the West or anyone, I don't care if it's the West, I don't care if it's the African nations, I don't care, whatever.
Oh, yeah, I'm calling just the West because I'm asking you about what happened.
Yeah, but they should be putting pressure, like you said, on the Revolutionary Guards, the Iranian. Look, let your people protesting. Listen to They should ask the Iranian government. Your people are protesting. Why don't we open up a dialogue with the people and see what they want?
Good. And I asked about the putting pressure and the credibility thing because from experience, the only thing that stopped some government regimes from just going out / killing everyone is pressure from outside countries. That actually works. Of course, everything goes to shit afterwards because democracy, and you know what happened all over the Arab Spring except for Tunisia.
Yeah.
But at least before I even think about any democratic Iran, I just now fearing from the backlash from the Ayatollahs and the Revolutionary Guard. That's what I'm fearing. I'm fearing for innocent protesters dying. Honestly.
You know how like there was a chant that apparently was done when the Ayatollahs took over, and it was like it ended with Islamic Republic, and now the chant now is the same except for Islamic. They changed it to Iranian Republic. So the protesters are chanting this, like, basically, we don't want an Islamic Republic. We want an Iranian Republic. And they're saying, like, death to the mullahs and death to the reformers. They don't want any of this stuff. They're saying we want to go back to being a secular country, but they want to do it on their own way. And they need to be able to come to a way to figure out how to run a secular society based on their needs and how they want it done. You can't have something forced. Like, you can't have another Shah. You can't have another Assad. You can't have you have to let them.
You were cutting out again. Sorry.
Sorry, I said if they get lucky enough to form some sort of secular government, then they should do what they want. It shouldn't be forced on them.
One clarification, and I may be nitpicking. When we're talking about the West's responsibilities, you said not another Shah makes sense. Not another Assad. Assad has nothing to do with the West. Assad is Arab born and everything. Like, Assad was not put there because of the West in any way, shape, or form.
Helped out by the West a bit. I know Syria and Libya.
The West totally deserted Hafez al-Assad ever since 1973. 1973, they give in to Sadat, and they give in to Israel, and fuck Syria, and fuck Hafez al-Assad. The West has been against Hafez al-Assad started the whole supporting terrorism thing. The West, remember when Reagan put U.S. troops in Lebanon?
Yeah.
And Syria and Hafez al-Assad was basically doing ops against the Americans, and Reagan just left Lebanon. That was Hafez al-Assad anti-West, and the West anti-Hafez al-Assad. There is no way Hafez al-Assad or Bashar al-Assad are the West's responsibility. And I know I'm nitpicking, but every time people talk about these dictators, they're saying as if the West put them there somehow. I'm just saying Hafez al-Assad and Bashar al-Assad are not the West. Go on, sorry.
No. I mean, just give me a sec. Yeah, no. Okay. When I said Assad, I mean, I know like we're more closely allied with the with the Soviets.
Yeah,
so,
Russian.
Yeah. So I mean, but Russia never counted as the West, I guess. But when I said the West, I should have been more clear. But I mean, it was foreign powers. It was they were a pawn underneath one of the two superpowers at the time. So you can say
every single leader in the Middle East during the Cold War was a pawn to one of the two superpowers.
Yeah.
There is no independence.
It was done for oil.
Even Nasser wanted a pan-Arab, everything Arab, and he gave in to the Soviet Union.
Yeah, no, but it's not just that. It's everyone wanted oil back then, and that's so. U.S. had Saudi and Yemen and all that. Well, Soviets had South Yemen with the communists down there until the Civil War. But so
not a lot of people know that, by the way. Everyone knows that Germany was split, Vietnam was split, Korea was split. No one remembers that Yemen was split to a communist and a normal state. Everybody forgets about this communist Yemen.
Well, some people, some of us know it.
Some of us know it because you're Yemeni.
Okay, but you know how far removed I am? Like I don't know it because I didn't know that's where my father's. I just remembered from watching.
You're cutting out again. Ubaid, press F5 and it will restart and you will get back in. Just press F5.
I'm on an iPad.
Oh, you're on an iPad.
Yeah.
See, Apple. I blame Apple. I know. I went too fucking deep into the Cold War, dude. That I've read everything. I just know about it that way, and I was amazed at the first time because at first, what the hell is Yemen split for? Who came to Yemen? But yeah, you were talking about everyone wanting oil, and back then, especially in 1973 and 74, that was the first time Saudi Arabia made a petro blackmail mark on the US. They stopped oil for the first and last time ever. And oil prices, and there were lines of people with cars in the United States 2 weeks later or 1 week later even. So that was like, holy shit, we need to like figure out this in some way and make peace with Israel. But the peace with Israel thing went along great with Egypt and Israel, but it didn't go along in any way with Hafez al-Assad in Israel. The Golan is still Israel. They didn't give up the Golan, they gave up Sinai.
Yeah, the whole Cold War thing. I mean, I remember I was young. I was 6. We moved to Canada when I was 6, but I was 75. So, but they still would talk about the embargo in 73 and 74. I mean, and that's why Carter got on a big kick to try to find alternative sources of energy.
Yep.
Like Carter really started that up in the late 70s. And then when Reagan came in, he put a stop to it and went back to oil. Like just,
Reagan figured I will just guarantee that I'm friends with them for life. And there's no way they're going to black me anymore.
Yeah, that's about it.
But technically speaking, until now, because not just outporting oil, but because of the petrodollar, Saudi Arabia still have a button to blackmail the West until today. It's just never used. It's never used, but we have to keep on pleasing Saudi Arabia in general without reaching that point of them blackmailing with oil.
I don't think you need to anymore that much. I don't think, especially if the United States and Canada wanted to, the United States and Canada could be self-sufficient in oil. If we didn't sell to anyone else, and Canada only sold to the United States and kept enough for ourselves, I honestly think we wouldn't have to buy much Middle East oil. But as a OPEC and all that, we have to buy.
I've heard different opinions about this. I'm not into economics very well, but some of the economists I've heard are talking about like we need Saudi Arabia not just because of literally the oil barrels coming to us. We can depend on our own oil, but we need them to trade their own oil to other countries in dollar. That's the important part, not in any other currency. That's what making the dollar powerful. You know what
Okay,
I
well
mean? It's
that's
not just oil barrels. It's Saudi Arabia agreed to trade in petrodollar. That's the main point. From what I
okay.
understood from a 2-hour podcast about economics that had a shitload of terminology that I didn't understand. Just to be clear.
Well, that makes sense that they want the oil. They want oil spent in dollars. So the U.S. dollar is the currency that's traded around the world, and that brings the dollar up. That's the problem with the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar is so tied to
Yep.
oil. As soon as the price of oil goes down, the Canadian dollar plummets. I mean, just a few years back, we were almost at par with the U.S., and now we're at 75 cents. And then I remember at one point in like 2000.
Should I mention the Egyptian pound right now?
No, but at one point in like 2008 or so, we were at 60 cents on the dollar US. And then by 2011 or so, it went up to par. And the oil was cheap. And then as soon as oil started going up again, the Canadian dollar went up again. As soon as oil was high, that's why the Canadian dollar was so high. But then when the oil started dropping, the Canadian dollar started dropping again. We're so tied to the price of oil, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that tying somehow is a blackmail part, not just which sucks because everybody keeps talking about this. We have to be dependent on Saudi Arabia just in terminology of energy, and let's start fracking, let's start nuclear, let's start renewable solar, blah blah blah. But it's not just as simple as that. Like world trade have a lot of buttons Saudi Arabia can push, and Saudi Arabia and Qatar, by the way, not just Saudi Arabia, are so fucking powerful in the economic stage that the West will just keep on pleasing them. And that brings us back to the point, the country that they don't have to please that much is Iran.
Yeah. I mean,
Iran is totally into Russia, not into the West. So there is no reason to give in any way. They're not gonna lose anything. Like it sounds like basically the right wingers are pro the protesters to the point that the left wing is just backlashing in a reactionary way. Like I've read the article
that's a lot
wrote.
of it. I mean, New York Times even put out an article about that. I think it was New York Times. I could be wrong because I've been reading so much crap lately. It was basically, because Trump supports the protesters, we should be supporting the Ayatollahs. It's like no.
Oh my God!
Like
no.
Let's just put this. I don't want to bring in Godwin's law here or anything like that, but let's just put this.
If Hitler supports,
it's the Nazis and the Jews, and Trump supporting the Jews are protesting in the New York Times, just saying no. Well, then we must support the Nazis. It's like, come on.
When it comes to these kind of things, and I use Godwin's law, I talk about the rapes that happened by the Soviet soldiers to German women right after the fall of Berlin. So the Nazis, the remaining Nazis, were against the rape of German women. So I ask the question: do you agree? Do you stand against the rape of German women as the Nazis? You know what I mean? Like, of course I do. Like, you shouldn't be pro Soviet soldiers raping women in Berlin. Either way, even if that's a Nazi position.
Yeah, it was also we looked at what was it? Jesus.
You have a cold dude in your frozen tundra.
You were talking about the Nazi protesters there and stuff. It reminded me of something.
Nazi protesters? Are you calling Iranians Nazis?
Okay, no, not the Nazi protesters. I was speaking with. I had a friend of mine who was Polish, and his parents grew up under German occupation. Mm-hmm. They were there when the Nazis were there. They were young kids, obviously. They were 10 or 11, and then they grew up under the communists. And they hated
the worst of both worlds.
They hated the communists more than the Nazis. Maybe because
a lot of Eastern Europeans say that, by the way, not just those two.
Because the communists were there much longer, and it was a much fresher memory. And this is like speaking to them after the fall of communism, but the Germans were something that happened when they were kids.
I've talked to
A lot
Eastern
of them fully
Europeans
understand
and
this
I
right
heard
now.
shit like, and I'm not gonna be like defending that position or anything. I'm just relaying information here. Uh, if you're an Eastern European and you were not Jewish, you would hate the communists more than the Nazis,
Yeah, it's
basically.
yeah, because and I think it's because the communists were there longer and it was fresher, it's newer in the memory. That's why a lot of the Eastern Europeans, they might be going authoritarian, but they don't want to go communist again.
Oh no, never. I mean, right now, if you look at Eastern Europe, it has more anti-communist, pro-West than Western Europe,
Yeah,
which is weird. Like,
it's
if you listen to some speeches by Jeremy Corbyn, he's like almost pro-Soviet Union, dude. It's insane.
I know he's insane.
He's fucking
Um,
insane. But there is no way you would hear someone like that in countries, post communist countries in Eastern Europe. And
no, of
it's
course
gonna
not.
be, and if we take that metric and move it forward, we can look at a hilarious situation where the only place with Western European Western values and as liberal values will be in Eastern Europe. Meanwhile, Western Europe is either getting more into communism or more into Islam. They're gonna build the Berlin Wall for the totally opposite reason.
Yeah, no, I can see that happening. I mean, like, okay, let's just picture it this way. Let's take best case scenario in Iran, and these protesters manage to win. They manage to create a secular society, and they start espousing the values of the Enlightenment, and that spreads to one or two of the other countries in the region. I'm not talking about the whole thing. So 20 years from now, you could have so-called Western values being upheld, like you said, in Eastern Europe and parts of the Middle East, whereas Western
Exactly.
Europe is a shithole, and it's
I made that point before, but I wanted to clarify it with one bit. In, let's say, 2018 right now, of course, Western Europe is still more Western than the Middle East. But what I'm saying is there is a projection going down in Western Europe from democracy, liberty, everything good. And there's a projection going up in the Middle East. Things are getting better. That's all I'm saying. We're still shittier than the West in every way. But I am seeing things getting better over here while things are getting worse, Islam wise specifically, in Western Europe. Like, London is becoming shitty to the point that my friend came back to Cairo.
yeah. Well, I mean, but I mean, I think Europe is lost, man. I think Europe, there's no will to protect themselves anymore. There's no will to protect their.
Excuse me, Abed. There's a will to protect Europe, but sadly, they're all fascists.
Yeah, it's like whatever, whether the
Have
bear
you noticed,
wins or the
Abed?
wolf wins, it
I
doesn't
want to
matter.
ask you about this, and I want to ask you about this. Have you noticed that the problems you and me and Stefan Lalo maybe see, Islam, immigration, and everything, the only people taking those problems seriously are alt-right?
Yeah, but that's just it. Like, I don't think, okay, like whether it's alt right doing it, it's if the alt right is doing it right now, the alt right is doing it, I think, for two reasons. One, they want to piss off the left,
That's the
and
alt-right
two,
trolls. They're just
they're
anti-left and want to piss
yeah,
off the left in any way.
okay. Or they're saying, okay, like these people are speaking out against Islam and they don't want to have Islamification. They're speaking about women's rights or FGM or rights of speaking out or whatever. And they're like, okay, these are useful tools. We can use these because we hate that's a brown person religion. We want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
We don't want any part of it. And so that you have that, but I mean, that again, that's because of the void that's left.
Dude, my whole point was bashing the left. I'm not praising the alt-right over here. And when I said alt-right, I differentiate between alt-right and the right wing. The right wing have people who actually care about women's rights and FGM for real. I'm not into this narrative you guys are saying where they're just using every. No. There are actual conservatives who care about human rights. Sorry.
I do not believe that in the least, that the right is not. There aren't people on the right that are committed. Unfortunately, again, you only hear most of the rhetoric coming from the far right or someone like Trump. You can't even call Trump right. Trump is just his own little thing.
Yeah.
Trump is not right or left. He's just insane. But so you have that little. But there are people on the right, like he used to be left winger, now he's right winger. Dershowitz. He speaks out. Like even someone like a Ben Shapiro speaking out. And these people stand up for constitutional values. They stand up for the Constitution of the United States. So they're all for equal rights for all people. They're all for, and I have no problem with someone like a Ben Shapiro speaking out in support of the Iranian protesters, because I know he's doing it from a good place. But if I hear Richard Spencer doing it, I kind
That's
of question
why I
what
want
Richard
to
Spencer is
differentiate
doing.
between right wing and alt-right, dude.
Yeah.
When I say alt-right, I mean white ethno state.
Yeah, no. Okay, look, I agree with you. Like that's why I try to say alt-right, far right, and right. Like the right, center, the centrists on the right and the left.
But I wouldn't call like Ben Shapiro types even center right. The right wing, they're conservatives, and there is no problem with that.
No, but he's
problem
not far right. I think he's more center right because on certain things he's libertarian.
Oh yeah, but are you gonna call any libertarian like center now? Like libertarians and conservatives always had it like best together, dude.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm not just saying like, okay, but he wants government out of marriage. Okay, like I'm just talking about Ben Shapiro. He's saying he doesn't want government to have anything to do with same-sex or
exactly. That's why Ben Shapiro passes the fixed marriage question.
Yeah, he said it should just
because he's against the government enforcing marriage in the first place, if it's same sex or different sex.
Yeah. But he said, if two men and two women want to go off and have a civil union and have the same protections, like so you're considered a next of kin at the hospital, all that kind of stuff. You want all that. He doesn't care. He just doesn't want the government involved. So whereas someone who's far right would be, the far right position is you're opposed to same-sex marriage, you're opposed to abortion, you're opposed to.
Far right. Okay, now I understand you. You're meaning like extremely conservative and going to Christian conservative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, let's call that far right. Yeah, exactly. Because by the way, the alt right is not Christian. The alt right maybe loves Christianity as to hate to Islam, but it's not your typical Christian conservatives right there. Most of them are atheists.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just till you know.
They're yeah. Okay, look, trust me. Don't get me wrong. I don't. Aside from the ethno state, I don't put much else on the alt right. The alt right don't have anything else except for the whites are the best, and we want to make a white ethno state and fuck everyone else. That's what the alt right's all about.
Yeah, but let's take the positions of the alt right and replace every word white with Western values, and let that group exist. I want that group to exist. And that group doesn't exist because the centrists are not a political party enough to, the left and the progressives are abandoning Western values, the right is abandoning Western values, we are of course there is the Rubin, the classical liberal, but this is not a political party, dude. You know what I mean?
No,
like we keep saying a lot of center left and center right are sane people, normal people. Only the fringes happen on Twitter. The Antifa and the alt-right are the insane 1% on this side, 1% on this side. But when push comes to shove and there is two candidates, one of them is going to be progressive and one of them is going to be Trump.
Yeah. But what pisses me off, though, is even all this stuff, they're they're quiet, they're the silent majority. I'm like, screw you. Get up off your ass and start speaking up. Like the silent majority isn't doing anything. The silent majority is going to let me hang.
Exactly. But in defense of the silent majority, the two-party system is already there, dude. What the hell? Should they support a third party candidate?
I think this last election, the Libertarians got some traction. I think in another election,
they got some attraction, but then what is Aleppo?
Yeah, okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, if that hadn't happened, I think he would have gotten more of the vote. But what I'm saying, give it a couple more elections, and you keep.
I know. I think I have your same wish for a third party libertarian candidate, but I'm expecting a certain attack from the left. The attack will be as follows: guys, fuck that libertarian third party candidate, because if we're gonna split the vote, Trump will win.
Yeah. That's. But you see, if you get the right libertarian candidate, you will feel
right wingers will vote for him too.
If you want to read a really interesting book, it's by Nick Cohen. It's called What's Left: How the Left Has Lost Its Way, and it focuses more on how the left in the West, mainly in Europe, supported Saddam as opposed to Western imperialism, because they were fighting Western imperialism. And it was right after the fall of communism, because the left was communist and they didn't have anything left. So they were disheartened and they were disillusioned, and all they had was this anti-imperialism and anti-Western feeling. And the only people they could put that into was Saddam and the Baathists.
And by the way, that anti-imperialist feeling may be the same reason they're supporting an Iranian government.
That's what I'm saying. If you read Nick Cohen's book, a lot of that applies to what's going on in Iran right now. Because I mean, it's I don't know. I think Cohen's only written like 3 or 4 books, but I've read 2 of them. One is What's Left. The other one's called You Can't Read This Book, and it was about the satanic verses, the whole satanic verses thing. But I mean, like, What's Left chronicles the failures of the left, how it went from individual freedoms and liberty and individual, valuing the individual into a collective groupthink, and anything that was anti-West was good. If you haven't read it, I think you'd like it. But like I said, it
I know about it, by the way, because I heard him on a podcast once. Mm. And just to make another point, Obaid, when I say in defense of the silent majority, we're gonna be optimistic. People are realizing the bullshit from the progressives. People are realizing the bullshit from the Richard Spencers of the world. People are, and I'm gonna be like talking positively as the mainstream opinion. But I have trust in Americans and in people in the West in that way, as individual people. But I don't have any trust in the DNC picking a candidate that is center-left, normal, sane human being. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's why I said to people who were, but people ask me, well, if you were in the States, who would you vote for? I said, if that 48%, if that 48% hadn't voted, who didn't vote, there's only like 40 to 48% that didn't vote. If they'd gotten up off their ass, went to the polling place, and spoiled their ballot, that's what I would have done. I would have spoiled my ballot. I would have said, every choice you're giving me is worthless. Like, you just sitting at home and not voting, they're going to take that into consideration. They're going to say half the people won't vote. That's it. That's fine.
But what's the difference between spoiling the ballot and not voting? They already know the fact of the matter is half the people didn't vote.
Okay. Here's the difference.
Sorry, you're cutting out. Repeat. Here is the difference. Repeat from here is the difference.
If that 48% or 40% even went up, got up off their asses, went to the polling place, did that effort to spoil the ballots, you're saying, that either of your choices are horrible. Give me better choices. Send a message. If everyone who didn't vote did that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, but Obaid, you're assuming there are normal, sane people in the DNC picking up candidates and looking at the people. The best way for a message to be sent to the Democrats is Trump winning in the first place. If Trump won, that should be alone of itself a message to the DNC and the Democrats: get your shit together. And instead of getting their shit together, they're doubling down on all the bullshit they're doing that made them lose in the first place.
Yeah, but that's just it. They didn't get the message. I think they would have.
They zero got the message. Have you seen 2017? 2017 to me is like the Democrats doubling down on the exact same reasons they've lost in the first place.
No, I agree with you 100%. The Democrats aren't doing anything to fix it. They're just like saying they're just going further and further left. No, pull yourself in, come into the goddamn center. But like I said, I think if everyone who had not voted, if they'd just gone and done that and spoiled their ballot or just voted down ticket, so you don't vote for the president, you vote for the senator, the Congress,
or voted for Gary Johnson.
Yeah, voted for anyone. I don't care, but you just show that these two people are not worth it. They would have gotten the message across to both the parties. Because look, Trump was not a sane choice either. I would have been happier with Cruz. I would have been happier with Rubio. If one of those.
Any one of those. But when we're talking about the 2016 election, it's more of an anti-Hillary Clinton vote, not a Trump vote.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I mean,
it's not about Ted Cruz.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying, the RNC did not pick a great candidate either.
Oh yeah, I know. Dude, like how many times this is where I get boggled down with any semi left-wing person, because when the 2016 elections happened, of course after the foreign policy from Hillary, I would have no reason to want Hillary to win in any way. But everyone thought I was like right-wing, and I'm like far-right Trump. And it was weird to me because how can a right-wing person like me want a fucking socialist to win in the primary? Like, I just wanted Hillary out. I didn't even care if Bernie was president of the United States. Seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't Trump. And I've explained this a billion times. And no matter what, I am a Trump supporter and I'm a Trump fan. But whenever there's a corner and it's Hillary Clinton or Trump, of course it's Trump. And we're in 2018. We shouldn't even get into this again. But I'm saying if the DNC in 2020 had a candidate like Tulsi Gabbard, the Democrats will win. If they had another Clinton, okay, it's 8 years of Trump. Of course, there's no way a third-party candidate could win. Sorry to spoil the butterflies and rainbows dream of a third party. It will forever be a two-party system. It's said that way by the debates, by not getting a third-party member into the debates. The system is authoritarian for the two parties in the first place. The system is set up that way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's they call it a buy monopoly. What's not a buy monopoly? It's a buy
a duopoly.
What?
Duopoly.
Duopoly. Yeah, it's a duopoly. Like the Gary Johnson or third party or whatever, that nonsense. My only hope is simply, we literally have Lalo right now. My only hope is simply to the DNC to get their shit together. I have no hope for a third party candidate. Lalo. Lalo? No Lalo? Okay. So, do you have hope for the DNC? Seriously? I don't, by the way. I have zero hope.
Thank you for inviting me to this meeting of gay Islam.
I have gay Islam all the way. You know how Islam is progressive.
We're
I've shared a meme with this sign saying LGBT Muslims meet at the roof, and then I put the next to the meme, gays getting thrown off roofs in the Middle East.
We're changing our group name to the Pink Crescent.
Lalo. We're gonna ask you a question.
Ask me.
Do you think there's a hope for a third party candidate in the center if the progressives keep going?
There's no center. What the hell? There's no center. What are you guys talking about?
Okay. Whatever.
Is it you mean America? Are you guys talking about America?
Yeah, let's talk about America. I'm not going to do the horseshoe theory. There is a center or a classical liberal hashtag. I'm not doing that. I'm saying center left or center right. You know what I mean, Lala?
We're just going to be right back in a couple of minutes, guys.
Take your time, Abid.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Now,
I
in
think
that
everybody's
specific
way too.
case,
Even if you're, I understand what you mean. Even if you're talking center right or center left, I think that's a tiny minority now of the United States. I think everyone's
even
really
if it's a
extreme.
majority, we're talking about the people in power in the DNC and the RNC picking candidates, or a third party going in. So, if it will remain a two-party system, do you have hope that the DNC will get its shit together and get the message, holy shit, Trump won in 2016,
It's
to put out a fucking reasonable candidate?
I don't know. I have no idea what they're thinking. Like it's really,
Me either. I'm so
yeah,
confused.
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna think, like, for example, let's say the Republicans, they might think, like, their thinking could go two ways. I think it could go like, oh, Trump's over the top, really extreme way of talking got him the presidency, so we should do it again. Or they could be thinking, this guy is so over the top, his approval ratings are shit, and he's trying to pass a bunch of policies we don't even like because the Republicans don't even like the policies of Trump. And this, and but he won, so we have to see how we can win, but still push our policies. And then the DNC have to, I don't know if they realize their mistakes. Like if they're like, oh, we tried to win just on name recognition because it's Hillary Clinton and because she's a woman, and tried to push identity politics and name recognition and not real change. And this, in her ultra held back way of talking versus Trump's over the top rhetoric, which won, is she has no flamboyancy, she has no personality. Do they realize this stuff? I don't know. I don't know
Now,
if these people
we have
realize it.
evidence from 2017.
You have to remember, Omar, that most of the people in the Congress of the United States, especially the Senate, are really old, right? Like they don't understand millennials.
I'm sure everybody in the Senate, if they looked at Twitter or memes or YouTubers and the alt-right or whatever, they will have no fucking idea what's going on. I'm sure.
Yeah, like when they hear that Trump won because the alt-right and Twitter and Facebook and blah, 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 and memes and this and that, they're like, what? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They have no idea. Like every congressman on Twitter, I bet you every congressman's Twitter is run by some intern, right? Yeah. I bet they've never even seen their Twitter before.
And when you tell them the reason Trump using his own Twitter and saying bullshit makes him more genuine than old guard politicians, they would think you're insane because Trump is saying bullshit.
Did you see his tweets today? It's so funny. I'm like
super I heard was my nuclear button is bigger than your nuclear.
No, I'll read you. The newest ones are pretty awesome. I gotta say, like they're so like I don't know, like I think he might be losing his mind. Like somebody I think suggested that he might have like onset of Alzheimer's or something like that. I think it might be true.
So he wrote concerning North Korea.
No. This is just I don't know. It's just crazy shit. Listen, okay, he says, actually, throughout my life, my two greatest assets have been my mental stability and being like really smart. Crooked Hillary also played. I'm not kidding. And he said like he said, and being like really smart.
Okay, you got trolled, Lalo, I think.
And he said, crooked Hillary Clinton also played these cards very hard, and everyone knows went down in flames. I went from being very, all in capitals, very successful businessman to top TV star to president of the United States on my first try. I think that would qualify.
I think that
listen,
would qualify me as not smart, but genius. And a very stable genius at that.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's crazy, right? It reads like a 10-year-old writing this shit. See, but the thing is, Omar, Omar, when people say he's trolling, right?
The 4D chess people?
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's technically impossible to be the president of the United States and write a trollish tweet. You can't do it. For example, let me explain what I mean. Like, for example, if you're in an office, right? And the boss says to a female person who works under him, he says, hey baby, you got really nice tits, right? If he says that, can he excuse that by saying, hey, I was just trolling?
No, he can't.
Right.
But
So exactly. That's the point. You can't. There are situations where it doesn't matter even if you think you're trolling. It's impossible
exactly,
to troll.
but
right?
in your example, Lalo, in your example, the HR department of that company is also saying, "Don't worry, guys, he's just trolling."
Well, no. I mean, it's not exactly an HR. The point is that the woman took that as an offense, and it doesn't matter if he was trolling or not. And in the case of the president,
maybe, as you said, maybe North Korea would take something as an offense, and it doesn't matter if he's trolling.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like North Korea, when some 4chan asshole says, "Oh, he's just trolling," well, does North Korea take that as he's just? Do they even understand that concept? Probably not. So it doesn't matter. There's things you can't say when you have a certain position on official terms, right? It doesn't matter if you're trolling or not. It's always serious. When you're a boss and you have people working under you, everything you say is serious, whether you were joking or not. And in the case of being the president, everything you say is serious. Doesn't matter if you're trolling. So trolling or not trolling, everything is serious.
And I'm gonna present a catastrophic representation of this. Let's assume, and maybe it's true, that the majority of America is now liking this shit, and America is a democracy that votes. It still doesn't matter, Lalo, if another country take him seriously or not. If people are, oh, he's just kicking ass, or he's net savvy, he's genuine, he's truthful, or whatever, they're still gonna say that same shit to vote for him again, regardless of the fact of tweets having consequences. And back to the point of what I wanted to start this shit with Obaid. We were talking about how real problems, all three of us talk about, like Islam, immigration, or whatever, are only mentioned or taken seriously by right-wingers. Do you agree with that at the first place? Lalo?
Me? I thought you were asking Obaid.
Yeah. What?
I thought because you're talking about you and me.
I was telling you I talked with Obaid at this. Lalo, do you agree?
I mean, when you say taken seriously, I mean, if you mean like
giving awareness to calling out Islam.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, in that case, right wingers are talking about it. The left is not talking about it. That's step one. Step two. These problems, the left is still in control somehow in Western Europe for them not to be solved, and for them to continue, and for the right wing to keep on calling them out. If the problems gets worse, the right wing rises. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, but it should be said when you say taken seriously by the right. I mean, every day I realize more and more how the right is using... really. Yeah, I used to think like a lot of people say like we're exaggerating when we said the right wing is using you, but I think a lot of the people on the right wing, everyone who I first saw like 3 or 4 years ago, who were right wing, seemed like center right at best, maybe even center left sometimes, and slowly I've seen
because they're okay with gay marriage.
They're super right wing.
Yeah,
and a lot of these people are either still hiding it, but I've seen it, or they're not even hiding it anymore, and it's really coming out. And I'd say that's
no reason to hide it that much anymore, by the way, now. But we had the same conversation, and let's take an example. Ben Shapiro. Do you think Ben Shapiro actually cares about human rights in the Middle East?
Fuck Ben Shapiro.
Okay, me and Obaid think Ben Shapiro is not the kind of extreme far-right, alt-right, blah, 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 who would just using ex-Muslims to his agenda. Not in any way, Lalo.
I don't think he cares about... I don't think he cares about anyone in the Middle East.
Do you think him raising awareness to these problems is a good thing?
I'll say one thing here. I don't think Ben Shapiro really cares. I shouldn't say really cares, but I don't think that's something that he concerns himself with. It's not on his radar But when asked the question and he answers it, like when he attacks Linda Sarsour, he's not doing it out of posing or trying to gain anything out of it. He's doing it because he truly thinks Sarsour is a vile person. I don't think Shapiro's doing it out of any need to say, okay, I'll help the ex-Muslims because it's going to help my cause. But again, like I agree, I think you're right.
Look, Richard Spencer can give a criticism of Linda Sarsour, and he might be right about it. It's not saying much.
That's why we picked Ben Shapiro, not Richard Spencer.
But forget Ben Shapiro. To me, I think that the amount of people that I've seen online, and I've been fortunate enough to actually have interactions, like sometimes privately with some of like the big people, and sometimes like that. And the more I see people, I think the amount of people who actually have empathy for communities outside their own country are very few, like practically non-existent. Like I don't think it's left wing, right wing, center, even center. I would say the amount of people that I've seen actually give a shit about really like I see like an actually trying to make an effort. Like I really care about this. Like I notice like, oh fuck, they're a really empathetic person. They really have sympathy for people who are suffering in countries underdeveloped in themselves. The amount of people I've seen who I would say that's true of, I could count on one hand, maybe like 3 fingers.
And you know me, and
out
you know
thousands,
my disappointment, and you
like
know my
YouTubers zero. YouTubers totally zero. Fuck the YouTubers, they're all shit.
Yeah, but okay, like what I was.
I love how Lalo just got fed up after the last 3 weeks of YouTube drama, Kraut and Tea, and Kilroy.
Whatever.
Oh, and I got to, because I was invited with and put on their list without even asking me. They were
gonna remove you anyway, dude. Don't worry.
Yeah, but they also put up my picture without asking me. I didn't say I was going to go.
Your supporters, to reach 85,000.
Yeah, I didn't contribute. Like when they used my picture, it obviously didn't bring a significant number to that. But they did it to other people who had significant following. But they also put me in a private chat in Twitter, where all the speakers were. So it's every fucking right-wing YouTuber in a private chat. It's Alex Worsky, Lauren Southern, all of them in this chat.
Did you just call him Alice Worsky?
No, Andy Worsky. But and I said nothing.
He's called Adam Worsky.
I didn't send a single message in that whole message board, and that's been going on for like more than a month. I didn't say anything. I just looked. And I am so disgusted by these people. They're the worst people on earth.
Oh yeah, no, they're. But I mean,
he's called Adam Raceworski right now, Lalo. And I am still amazed that you think these stuff are even related to actual real left-wing politics, right-wing politics. They're not right-wing, Lalo. They're YouTubers.
I totally agree. You're 100% right. It's not political. Oh, and the money they make, like we were looking at that. Did you that one screen capture, Omar? Like what that I sent you?
A Nazi.
That where like it was like $30, $100. Like that's the amount I make monthly on Patreon. Just that one screen capture I took of this.
The Richard Spencer debate was trending #1 on YouTube, and Andy got a lot of super chats. But even the post Andy streams get a shitload of super chats. But I'm saying your assessment of this whole thing, your conclusion is right, but your assessment is hilarious because it's not the skeptics making money. It's the people going against the skeptic community making money.
Well, fuck, everybody's like, the skeptics are like, there's the SJWs making money, and then the skeptics who are anti-SJWs making money, and now there's the anti-SJWs making money.
Yep.
Oh,
I don't want anything to do with it. I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't been online like much at all. Like this whole for days now, I haven't tweeted at all. I think a week now, I hardly tweet. Like I've been so sick of the online world. I've lost a lot of interest in it. Like I'm still doing my podcast, and I'll record it, and I edit it, and I promote it. But everything else, like, I'm really sick of. And you know, like Jen got driven off Twitter because of the Kilroy thing, where she criticized Tim Pool, who turns out to be super right wing, by the way, and a bunch of alt-righters went after her. Like, do you guys hear about this?
Dude,
you guys know
I know about this more than you, and the people right on her are not alt-right, Lalo.
They're like, what?
Metacore is not alt-right. Why are you saying alt-right?
No, the followers.
They're not alt-right.
I don't get whatever they are. They're pieces of shit. They're all pieces of shit. Metacore is pieces of shit. They're all pieces of I don't care. It doesn't matter. Give it. Like, these titles, skeptic community, alt-right, central. I don't give a shit. Everybody sucks, Omar. Everyone sucks.
Just
I don't give a shit about anybody.
3 points, Lalo, really quick. I already gave up on online world #activism a long time ago, and I am looking at this purely as entertainment. That's number one. You just realized that this is not actual activism, and they're not gonna actually change the world, or they're not
No. Mark. No. I realized a long time ago, but
I realized that a long time ago too.
But that's not what I'm saying now. Like, what I'm saying is that not only are they not going to change the world, they are scum. Everyone's shit. Everyone is human garbage. I hate like, now I have like how I feel, like how I felt about Linda Sarsour before. I now feel that way about everyone. I just want to, like, if I came back today to Twitter, I would just like shit on everybody.
Yeah, but these guys, I mean, you got to think, like, all these guys here, like, what was that debate the other day? Sargon and Richard Spencer.
It's fluff. It's not even significant.
Yeah, but I think they have such a overinflated view of themselves. Like, okay, Sargon was one of those people who gained popularity during Gamergate. And he, and then he parlayed that into a career on YouTube. But I'm sorry, I'm not saying he's an idiot or he's dumb, but he's not intelligent enough to be giving commentary on political opinions. He's just talking out of his ass.
That was Richard Spencer's opinion, by the way.
So, sorry, Obey, but I don't agree. It's not even that he's not intellectual enough to give political commentary on YouTube. I think these people are really, really. I mean, Sargon, what he's been doing for years now is he takes YouTube videos from teenage girls in their rooms who talk about feminism, and he talks shit about them, and he knows, trust me, because I know that if I share a tweet by some teenage girl who's talking stupid shit about feminism, I'd be worried that I'm sending thousands of people her way to troll her. And when Sargon does it, he's sending hundreds of thousands of people. And he knows that. I'm sorry, he definitely, and he has to excuse it constantly, saying, well, you gave your opinion online, so it's the marketplace of ideas, so hey, what the fuck? No, like, he knows he's sending hundreds of thousands of people to troll
that
teenagers.
Their followers always go to the original video he's replying to, or the bedroom feminist, or the left-wing politician they're criticizing.
No, politicians I don't care about. Politicians I don't care about. If they go troll Linda Sarsour, I don't give a shit. But when he does it to basically like teenagers in their rooms, that's fucked up. And I've been seeing that going on. And
never happened in Sargon's case.
He's done it a billion times.
Link one video.
I'm not even talking
any video about Milo Stewart.
Okay,
Milo. No. The main things about the Sargon sending his army was Jess Phillips and people and politicians. And I'm not defending. I'm just telling you the main drama and criticism for Sargon was Jess Phillips. If you don't care about female politicians,
I don't care. I've seen how these people like they know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. I don't like any of it.
The only difference, I'm not disagreeing as much as I'm correcting information right now.
Yeah, but also, like I said, like what I was saying was, okay, the whole I didn't want to get into that because that's another part of it, like attacking people and having your followers go after them, even if you would say, oh yeah, but I don't want my followers to go and say these things about this person, wink wink, like whatever, all that crap. But what I don't like I said, these people seem to think that they have this deep understanding when honestly, and like, I'm not, I've got any deeper understanding than they do, but they're putting themselves out there as these people who have this huge understanding and that they have this huge following. And because 200,000 people follow me or 1 million people follow me, I must know what I'm talking about. No, you've got the herd following you because the herd doesn't know any better. And, you know, you just happen to be pointing in the right direction or something. And like, they take themselves way too seriously. I think they think that their worth is something a lot more than it is.
And
you should have seen how these people were talking about ex-Muslims in the chat, in that private chat. Oh my God! Do they not give a shit about you people? Damn, do they not care?
The whole ex-Muslim thing, like fuck ex-Muslims, is the mainstream.
Yeah.
Because
but in that but you're talking about. I'm talking about
one point, Obaid. The problem is not just them, Obaid. The problem for people who take them seriously as political commentators. If they're just entertainers, YouTubers, they shouldn't be taken seriously as political commentary or news in the first place. That's one.
Exactly.
Two, Lalo, the whole thing about the ex-Muslims, there's a huge association right now that was driven like 3 weeks ago that the ex-Muslims are using SJW tactics. You know about it?
I don't know if I know specifically what you're talking about, but I'm telling you.
Okay,
I'm telling you. I'm not talking about the followers of YouTubers. I'm talking about the YouTubers, like almost all the popular ones who were going to Kilroy. In that chat, when they heard like they needed extra security for.
We wanted to meet and we wanted to have drinks and we wanted to talk to our fans. We didn't want ex-Muslims there. They're saying that on the stream, not on the messages, Lalo.
And I'm telling you,
they say that out loud, like all of it. What?
Like it got really, really bad in the messages.
Yeah, it's.
But Omar, like I seriously doubt.
Then fuck all ex-Muslims.
But I seriously doubt. I know that this was said in streams too, but it wasn't said in videos, for example, by people who come off moderate, like Tim Pool. Tim Pool is fucking awful. Oh my God. But then he goes on a video and he sounds like really balanced. The guy, he was fighting so hard. That guy was
centrist with no association,
like
covering journalism on the left and covering journalism on the right.
Fuck that. What he said. Forget all his videos.
Talk loud. Say whatever you want.
Forget all his videos. That he was talking about Kilroy. It's all bullshit. What he was fighting for in that chat was purely for the alt-right to have more space in Kilroy. That's all he cared about. That's all it was about. And he was disgusted that he would have to. He was talking about
their excuse for that is a hashtag free speech event.
Yeah.
If it's a free event, you should have picked Alaska and James Olsen.
He's a liar. He said 1 billion times in a bunch of videos that he was disturbed that he had to film, that he had to sign a non-disclosure and a non-compete. Total bullshit. They told him from the beginning, okay, you don't have to sign that. The only thing you have to sign is a no doxing agreement because of ex-Muslims. That's it. And he wouldn't do it. They told him, you don't have to sign the non-compete. You don't have to sign the non-disclosure. You don't have to sign any of that.
You should go blame Based Mama and Sister Danger for going on a stream right after that saying there is an NDA and a non-disclosure which everyone should sign.
No, I saw the video. No, I saw what you're talking about. First they said that people have to sign this. Then they said some people don't have to. One of those people was Tim Pool. And actually, they weren't explaining everything that happened very well, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like that everyone said this and that in a stream. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I saw a lot of the shit they were saying, and I was so disgusted by it. I just don't want anything to do with any of these people.
I didn't bring it up, dude. You came here. Fuck YouTubers, not me.
Yeah.
And the idea, Lalo, that these are taken seriously is my point. These are entertainment, internet, blood sports that have no effect on actual politics. This is not for real, Lalo.
Are you sicko, babe?
I got
Yeah.
a bit of a cold. But I mean, but these guys, like what you said, Omar, that's the thing. But unfortunately, people take these guys as serious news, and you can get your information from here. It's not like I'm defending mainstream media here or anything, but a lot of people seem to be getting their information from people like Sargon or whatever.
Yes.
And it's
And Tim Pool.
yeah, and I mean, like there's this whole thing. Left, right, who's speaking out, who's not speaking out, who's saying this, it can be summed up very simple.
But Ubaid, both of you guys are not getting my point, and you think I am somehow defending YouTubers, and I'm saying the blame goes to somewhere else. The blame in your example goes to the failure of the mainstream media.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Okay,
leaving an open door to people from Alex Jones to every single YouTuber to bring the news to people.
Okay, I'm not trying to, but what I'm saying is, all this stuff, it comes down to this: it's the best lack all conviction, and the worst are filled with passionate intensity. It's a line from a poem, and that's what it is. The people who really want to do something don't have the conviction or don't have the wherewithal to get up and try to do something, and the only people who are out there are the people who are out there to make a buck and scream the loudest and try to get some cash out of this. There's
I totally agree, but here's the thing. Let's assume me as someone who tried to do something and change something and make the conversation better between the Middle East and the West. Lalo, you were there when I started, right? I have no interest in that anymore because it's impossible for me to do so. And my thing that gives me meaning, the thing that I sleep well at night saying I made good stuff, is literally just helping two Egyptian guys I know in getting away from abusive Islamic families. Period. Like, that's the activism. That's the actual real thing I'm gonna say I'm helping people with. Not even this stream, not Twitter, not everything. All of that have zero consequences on the real world, period, including all the major people with 100K plus followers. It doesn't matter at all as actual helping people. And I said it before, Lalo, seriously, in my opinion, in my totally honest opinion, some unknown never named French doctor in Doctors Without Borders in South Sudan right now is doing more help to make the world a better place than any YouTuber, Twitter activist,
no.
whatever.
Then all the YouTubers together.
Then all the YouTubers together. I'm not even talking about YouTubers, Lalo. I'm talking about even like prominent ex-Muslims to Twitters or everything. You think you're going against YouTubers? I'm going against everyone, Lalo.
I can't disagree.
Yeah, no.
I'm not even saying these people. Maybe you have some vitriol more than me. I'm not gonna go as far as fuck those people, but I'm gonna say these people have zero positive consequences on the world. They're irrelevant. They have fans. They have followers. They're more interested in drama. And this guy said this about what? And this retweeted Dave Rubin, and he retweeted Richard Spencer, and more than actual effect on the ground, of course.
Yeah, I mean, okay, look, like when it comes to things like that, I agree with you. Like I felt, okay, and I don't want to make. You don't want to name names. No, it's not that I don't want to name names. I don't want to try to make it out like what I did when I worked with NATO was anything spectacular. Okay, because I traveled. Yes, I traveled around Afghanistan, this and that. For the most part, I was going from base to base, and I was sitting behind a desk working IT. But in Bosnia, when I built schools and when I helped schools in a community center, that I actually did something. In Afghanistan, when we weren't allowed to leave the base, but we built desks for schools on the base, we had them delivered to the schools. That I was actually doing something. Like up where I'm working now.
If you didn't put it on Instagram, it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
It didn't happen.
Never happened.
If you don't update your status on Facebook, it's non-existent. But so that's what I mean. Like, so what I'm doing now, anything that I'm doing now, if I write in my little blog, or I make a video, or I go on a podcast, or we're doing this, I don't have any delusions of grandeur that it's going to make a difference in the world. But like that's what I can do now. Like I can't, you know, I'm not financially independent to go fly off and go help someone in the Sudan. Okay. But I mean, like what I can do is, and I think there are legitimate people out there, and like Lalo, I think you're one of them, and you bring to bear voices like Stephanie that you just put out there, or Lubna when you had her a couple of weeks ago. You know, these voices that need to be heard, that people can hear them, and so that maybe you might change someone's mind. Say, okay, you know what? I will do something. I will speak out. I will, because as much as I know you're disgusted by what's going on in the West, Omar, like something from here needs, like the leadership here, the population here needs to support voices like you out in the Middle East, so that voices like you can at least have the chance to speak and not be afraid to be silenced. If they can do just that, then your voices like yours out in the Middle East can make a change for good. And
I'm gonna say something unpopular, and I totally respect your idea of I did shit in NATO and you did. Now, my voice is heard, and I am not getting feared of getting silenced, thanks to an internet connection, this webcam, and Google, YouTube. Not thanks to anyone. That's one. Second, the whole thing about there is a zeitgeist. People getting information from these YouTubers, these Twitter accounts, and that zeitgeist, that population, will eventually vote people in. We're making fun of 4 channels, but the 4 channels made a small difference when they trolled the left to the point that the left looked insane, that Trump won. So it have actual, real world consequences, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that specific case, you want to get in with those people who are not real activists doing things on the ground to change as much as you can and do the best you can, of course. And I will give credit, as a second ago I said, oh fuck everyone, I did this on my own. I didn't mean that as like an ego thing. I meant that as...
Yes you did. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
fuck anyone. Oh yeah, I'm gonna thank Lalo for the podcast about Egypt he did back in November with me. Thank you, Lalo, very much.
Huh?
Thank you.
What?
I'm
Oh,
thanking
you mean that we haven't done it?
for the Lalo podcast you did with me.
We haven't done them. Is that what you mean?
Oh yeah, we... I'm kidding with you, but seriously, guys, my point may be nonsensical, but there is no way for Obaid, Lalo, me, or whoever to change people's minds except the internet. So there is no way to just get with those people. This idea of this guy have a lot of followers, so it's better for me to be on his podcast, is a valid point. If any, you're saying, Lalo, now you're saying, fuck the YouTubers, right? If any of the YouTubers offered me, let's talk with you, of course I'm going to say yes, Lalo. What do you mean? I'm still talking to more people than I would ever talk to, Lalo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but you can.
That's
okay.
my point. That's the point that pissed off in the last stream when I said if Alex Jones was willing to have a conversation, I'm willing to go on Alex Jones, Fox News, whatever. I don't get this. Okay, since this hacktivists or fake activists or whatever, fuck them.
So,
they still have the ear of a lot of people, Lalo.
So can I add there that it's also disappointing that when you say, for example, like that, like oh well, if Alex Jones like offered me to go on his show, I'd go on and tell him what I think.
Yeah.
But then you have popular ex-Muslims shitting on people like Dave Rubin for talking to Alex Jones, right? Hold on, Omar.
Okay.
And I gotta say, like, another group that has disappointed me a lot, that I'm also really disgusted by, is like the non-YouTuber group of atheists and ex-Muslims who don't support it, like anybody. Then I wrote this the other day on Facebook. I don't know if you saw, and Dave Rubin retweeted
activists.
Inactive activists. This is what I was talking about. That these people, I mean, they wouldn't even retweet another person. I mean, I don't know if you got how, if you've ever seen Majid Nawaz's Twitter account. He doesn't endorse anybody. He wouldn't retweet a person to save his life unless they're saying something nice about him in his book or Quilliam. But and I gotta say, like, it's true for most of for most of people.
For most of the people, I'm not wanting to name right now on a live stream that's gonna be put on YouTube. I know.
Yeah, okay, no, but
wait, are we live?
No, we're not live, but I'm gonna post this, Lalo.
No, but please don't post this. I thought we were talking privately.
Seriously, Lalo?
No, honestly, I thought we were talking privately. I thought this was a private conversation.
Jesus, Obaid, I'm either gonna split this or this is not gonna get posted.
I didn't know until you just said that this wasn't private, Omar. Seriously.
Okay, then why were you going around Ali and Armin? If you thought it was private.
What?
I thought you understood that it is a live stream because you.
No, I didn't. I didn't know. This whole thing, I thought we were talking between the three of us. I really thought that.
Jesus. Okay, it's live, but I'm gonna still like cut all your parts out of it.
Should I log off then, because I don't feel like being on a live thing right now.
Dude, it's not live.
They just cut out.
Relax.
Right, but I don't want to be on a live video. So, I mean, I'll just cut off the whole part where I've been on. Please.
Your whole existence. I was gonna cut the part when I talked with you about the left to right or thing. I was gonna leave it.
No, I mean, I was talking. When I got on, the first thing I started talking about is a private DM with YouTubers. I don't want that on there. Seriously.
Yep, exactly.
So just please cut out the whole part where I'm on.
I won't post it, Lalo. I won't.
Okay, but should I leave so you can cut it out?
No problem. You can stay on and change the subject, and I will continue this point on about left wing and Iranian protests, like I was talking to Obaid.
I mean, I can hang up and you guys can call me when you're done, if you want.
No problem, Lalo. If you want to leave.
No,
if you're gonna stay on,
you're gonna stick around, Lalo. Like we were basically just talking about how the left is like not talking about Iran.
Disappointment in the left in general, Lalo. Nothing special. Don't worry.
I'm sorry, Omar. I thought when I logged on we were just having a conversation. I had no idea.
No, don't worry about it. I actually think it's funny. Don't worry.
Okay, thanks, man.
Here is Lalo. And I'm gonna cut all of this. But here is how much I think this whole thing is irrelevant. I don't even care if I call people out live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I've been really depressed, and I thought we were just having a private conversation. Sorry.
Don't worry. But I'm laughing at the point where.
Could you imagine if I had been on, like, had this been totally live with 1,000 viewers? I have to be more careful. Shit.
He just came in, and by the way, Lalo, you can actually see that it's live by the live thing at the top right.
Yeah, now I noticed it.
This is fucking epic. This will go down in history. Like, I'm gonna use this video on Lalo, make it on private, just leave it there.
Yeah, he's gonna blackmail me.
I'm gonna dox you, Lalo.
That's it. You have to have him on your podcast now, Lalo. Otherwise, he's gonna.
Yeah, now I have to. If not, he's gonna
exactly. If I'm not on your podcast, Lalo, this will be live on YouTube. Okay?
Yeah, he's gonna hang this over my head.
Lalo, by the way, I totally understand your disappointment and depression and people coming on Twitter, dogpiling on someone and everything. But in all honesty, to me, this is still a screen on a phone and a screen in the computer. The real people are Al-Azhar and some Salafi who's gonna kill me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the internet, if you know what I mean.
No, I mean that's a different story. It's like
My standards of drama is so high that there is no way this thing will get to me seriously. It's entertainment because, and to be totally honest, Lalo, I got into some drama online just to avoid the real depression of the Middle East. Believe it or not. Like, it's entertaining. When Obaid comes back, Lalo, we're gonna have continue a conversation about literally politics and stuff. Don't worry. And sorry to hear like you're pissed off or you're depressed or anything. Seriously.
Yes.
It's fucked up. And I'm gonna after this, if you have like a half an hour or so, let me talk with you for like 20 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Are you guys going to be talking? Are you going to do this live video more? I mean, I'm sorry, a lot more.
Yeah, we're gonna continue, and if I'm gonna post anything, it will be split the first part and the following part.
All right. Well, I'm going to log off. Send me a DM when you're done, and I'm happy to talk with you after you're done. Okay?
Dude, no problem. And by the way, Lalo, wait a second. Obaid, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
If this whole stream is messed up, and honestly, I don't have the time to keep splitting videos, we can talk again, right?
Yeah. Let's see. I gotta be running around tomorrow because I'm sending stuff to cargo and flying it out. So I'll be back about 3 my time, so about an hour later than today. Monday I've got stuff in the morning. Tuesday I've got tests.
Okay, but eventually, like my point right now, pragmatically, as not to, don't have time, I have work to split videos. I'm just gonna like stop broadcast, and this video won't even exist and done. I'm not gonna cut anything. Lalo, stay on. This is a private conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, Lalo.
And also, can I just say to you, like, you guys, I mean, I haven't been online even to look at my Twitter much at all these days, but honestly, like you guys are one of the few people who I think are extremely decent, and that's why like I was long on it. I mean, that's why I'm bitching to you guys about it, because I think it's like it's honestly like Obaid, Omar, Jen, you know, it's very few people who I really think have been like very consistently decent, good friends as well. So yeah. And like Obaid is like.
And it's insane to have a compliment in the first place because I didn't do anything. That just speaks to how shitty other people are.
Yeah, like you shouldn't be Thank you, but you should.
Yeah, I treat everyone like that, like Lalo. Like I did more to my fucking friend who owes me 500 Egyptian pounds than you will. You know what I mean?
No, but like when acting like a decent person deserves a compliment, like the true world is deep shit.
No, but and I mean more than decent. You guys have been like good friends to me always. I mean, like Obaid since I've been online and I've ever seen Obaid online. Obaid has always been like had my back always been super kind.
And also I can realize those true people. Like when I had a conversation with Obaid and Hani Darwish, if you know Hani. Yeah. They were true. Like I felt different than talking to a big name or anything because they're just like me. They're just normal. If you know what I mean, there's still some sort of fakeness interview-wise questions 1, 2, 3 in other people that just doesn't feel even real at some point.